Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I created this look right here using the PATRICKTA Major Dimension, the original, and the new one size cheek clapper and made for shade blush and bronzer trios. So if you guys want to see my thoughts on these products, then just keep on watching and let's go ahead and get into the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, the brows are done. So let's go ahead and jump into this eye look. So I'm taking this PATRICKTA Major Dimension eyeshadow palette and let's open her up and look at these shades and textures. So these are the swatches of the cream eyeshadows and I mixed them both and I'm using it as a transition color. And I'm also bringing that inward to start my nose contour as well. So now I'm just blending out the edges and setting it with the translucent powder from One Size Beauty. So now I'm just going in with this powder shade and just throwing it all in the crease just to reinforce that color and bringing it to help further that nose contour. Now taking a smaller brush, I am mixing the two darkest shades in the palette, the two powdered one, the powdered eyeshadows, and I am blending with my eyes open. This is definitely different for me. So now I'm just going to cut my crease using the LOUISE base and just tap off that excess. And now I'm going back into that same transition shade just so that we don't have any harsh lines between the dark and lighter shades. So these are what the shimmers look like swatched on my skin tone. And I'm going to be using these 3 shades. So I'm going to start with the darkest shade. And when you use these shimmers, you definitely want to wet your brush because they are a little crumbly, okay? Especially the more textured ones. So yeah, make sure you wet your brush. But for now, I'm just applying everything dry at the moment and it's not giving. So there was a lot of fallout with it on my face and in the pan. And as you can see, it's not really shining like how it's supposed to. So I was a little underwhelmed at this point. I was a little disappointed. So go ahead and wet that brush and you can see that's when it starts coming to life. So next I'm taking that really light shade and be very careful with how much you have on your brush because this did start to cling on my inner corner and I had to really blend it out. But on this eye it blended out really nicely and was easy to blend. So now I'm just taking the One Size Point Made eyeliner and doing a little wing liner, and look at how black this wing is. So now I'm taking these lashes from SHELASHED. This is in the style SHEEXTRA. Next, I'm going to go ahead and prime my face using the One Size Secured the Blur primer. And I'm going to be throwing it back and using this JACLYN skin tint in deep and almost using it as a color corrector. So I'm using it over where I have my scarring and just like darkness around my mouth. And I'm taking my Fenty Pro Filter foundation and I'm dotting on my foundation where I want it first. And then I'll go into my brush and just tap it all into the skin. And the skin is looking flawless. So now I'm going to take this sponge and just further blend. So it's concealer time, and you just need a little bit of this concealer, and definitely do one eye at a time. I made the mistake of letting this sit on the skin, and you definitely want to just blend it out as soon as you apply it, but I made it work. So now I'm going to be using this Cheek Clapper Blush Trio, and this is in the shade Rich Bitch, okay? Rich Bitch. So I'm going to be taking that top cream shade, and I tapped off the excess, and I'm slowly building up that color. And right here, I'm adding a little bit more of that brighter concealer. And honestly, I could have done without this because look at how bright this under eye is now. But I'm going back with my foundation brush to tone it down. So next I'm taking this powder puff and my Fenty pressed foundation powder, and I'm just pressing it into all the areas that are not my T-zone. So now I'm taking this Made for Shade bronzer trio, and I'm starting with the lightest shade at the top, which is meant to bronze, and I'm just going to use that specifically on my forehead. And as you can see, she builds up nice. And I'm taking that middle shade, which is a neutral shade, and I'm going to be using that to contour my nose. Now taking that same neutral shade, tapping off that excess, I'm going to be, that pigment. I'm going to be bronzing up the skin. So as you can see, a little bit goes a long way, and she's already getting sculpted. So now I'm taking this cool tone shade and I'm really just focusing it right there in the back of my cheekbone, I guess. And that is really going to give you that snatched, sculpted look. See, sculpting out those cheekbones, and you can really just see how snatched it is. And now I'm just reinforcing that nose bake. So now I'm going back into Rich Bitch. I'm gonna take this powdered blush, tap off the excess, and lightly tap on that blush because these are pigmented. And look at that shade. It looks so beautiful, and it was giving expensive Tyler Perry, mother-in-law. And now I'm taking this Sheen blush topper and adding it on, and it's definitely a sheen. It's not a highlighter. So now I'm just dusting off all that powder. And then I'm just going to refresh the skin using the Preserve the Serve Luminous Setting Spray just to melt everything in. And now I'm taking the Juvia's Place Brownie Lip Liner to line these lips. And just to blend that lip liner, I'm just going to rub my lips together. And now I'm taking the JACLYN Cosmetics Pout Spoken Liquid Lipstick in Gratitude. And just blot until everything is blended. And then add more liner. And that's the final look, guys. Bye.